Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Tomb Raider, basically, and this is a Tomb Raider analysis of the box office, an analysis of two elements I saw within the movie. There are major spoilers in this content for the Tomb Raider movie. So Tomb Raider had its weekend opening. It did $23 million in United States of America, which is terrible, and it did $100 million international, which is fantastic. So over the weekend, the movie made $125 million, but it made about it made about 20% of that in America, and that's very unusual. Normally, Hollywood wants to have a strong domestic box office. They had a strong international box office, and the reason, well, a lot of people would say, well, why does that matter? Why does it matter where you get your money, right? Well, essentially, solid, amazing, awesome movies are now a major export of the United States of America. We care very deeply about film, probably more than any nation in the world, and basically, there's been a long time formula where movies that are attractive to American viewers are attractive to a wide swath of international viewers, and it does not flow the other way. So movies that are attractive to an international audience are very rarely highly attractive to American audiences. And so that's one of the reasons why it matters where the money comes from. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag, basically, one, Tomb Raider is a video game movie. Video game movies are a major topic because video games are a multi-billion-dollar industry, and there is intense interest in converting Hollywood movies into converting video game IPs, intellectual properties, into movies. And it continues to elude Hollywood, right? So here we had a very awesome success from the international box office, but it's very poor on the domestic side. So it's still not, a pure winner, right? Jumanji recently came out with, it was considered a video game movie because they're playing a video game when the movie starts, and it's how they get into that world. But Jumanji is not actually a video game movie from historically. So even that one kind of doesn't count. And so here we are again, with a major intellectual property, seeing if you can get a successful video game movie, and it looks like the answer is no, right? You're out here waiting for an unmitigated hit, right? And there have been so many attempts, and still it just slips through Hollywood's fingers. I think one of the reasons for that is it's a highly debated what the reason is. Why are there so many bad video game movies? By the way, my rating on Tomb Raider as a film is 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely love the movie. I took my whole family. We had a great time. We really liked it. So I really liked it. But from a success perspective we really need there to be, so Hollywood has a movie and they can point to it and say, hey, look, this is a video game intellectual property, and it's widely regarded by the industry, by fans, by the industry, by video game players, and by movie watchers as a good movie. And right now, there's not a single one. There's nothing that's ever been created in easily 20 years where people can say, oh, that's a great movie, a video game property. Not one. And there are some of the worst movies ever made, like in the last 20 years, are routinely video game movies. So it's a serious issue. One thing I wanted to bring up is I think it's now time to acknowledge this, right? Video games are a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they get a lot of time and attention. They get both political, cultural, and social focus from Americans. They really do. They get a lot of time and attention from Americans. And so I think it's worth really talking about the video game fan base, right? Well, one thing I think that has become extremely evident, right, is that video game players do not convert themselves well to movie watchers. They don't. They just don't. That's clear now. You could create a video game movie. You could make it a good version. And I really feel that Tomb Raider was a good version of a video game property. It was a faithful conversion from video game to film, and they didn't show up, right? So I think that's one thing is, and one of the things that you can get to a point where you can say, okay, hey, let's look at the numbers, right? And so one of the things that you can do is you can stop making video game properties. Save that money, save that time and effort, save that bandwidth for Hollywood, for that would have been given to video game intellectual properties, and create new original intellectual properties, or create properties from books, right? Or create properties from television, or create properties from tabletop role-playing games, or create properties from board games, right? All those are still valid options to create movies from. But as Hollywood goes forward, I really think they should make less and less video game properties, probably for a good solid 10 years. Just leave it on the burner, wait for somebody to rise up and create a good formula, a good game, something that converts well. Also, give their time for this story, for this hard fact number to emerge, that video game players do not convert themselves well to movie watchers. I think it just needs to be recognized, right? And honestly, video games, when you go to make a video game, investors don't think twice of investing hundreds of millions of dollars. The news, magazines, podcasts, YouTube channels, every single platform devotes tons and tons and tons of time and attention to video game property holders. And I think it's really important to acknowledge, right, that this is now known, that you really can't rely on video game players to convert themselves into movie viewers. And in addition to that, they're not going to give you a lot of momentum on your movie property. It's not part of that fan base. It's not something they care about, right? And I think we've seen enough movies now to prove that. So I think the two things that need to come from Tomb Raider is acknowledgement that video games players do not convert themselves to movie viewers well, and they don't give momentum to these intellectual properties. And logically, correspondingly, Hollywood should now convert their time and energy over to movies that are based on books, comic books, board games, tabletop role-playing games, and other platforms that either are not proven to be bad platforms for conversion, or that are proven to be good platforms for conversion. Thank you.